All right, let's go to Casey in Boise. What's up, Casey?
Hey, Dr. John.
How are you, man?
Oh, not too bad, hanging in there.
Excellent. What's up, dude?
So I just got done reading your new book. Really enjoyed it.
There's only like 10 people bought that book, man. So thank you for being one of them.
Oh, that's all right. I loved it.
Thank you, man.
When reading it though, the section where you talk about kind of having a box where you have a small number of people you really confide in. You know, you have a spiritual advisor and a close friend.
Yep.
You know, one or two, and you also include your wife in there. And I guess my question is, I feel like I can't include my wife in there, and you know, I really want to because she's my spouse and I love her, but just really struggling with how to include her in that.
Man. So let me back out real quick and explain for folks. If you're new to the show, this idea of a box on your counter, if you will, comes from a conversation I had in a counseling class. And I was I was getting my PhD in counseling, and we were in a classroom, and we were talking about who hurts our feelings, and ultimately landed on people can fire me and take away my livelihood. Someone can shoot me and kill me. Somebody can break my leg, right? But ultimately, I am responsible. I get to choose who hurts me. And I realized in that class, was giving access to everybody. It's people on the internet I didn't know, politicians, friends of a friend, 40 people that I was a colleague with. I was giving permission for everybody, and I was walking around raged out, hurt feelings, sad. Every time I come out for air, somebody else would say. I just realized I was letting everybody inside in my chest, if you will, to hurt my feelings. And so the exercise was limit it to 5. And so I started saying, okay, who do I let speak into my life? And good grief. So I cut out all of the parents of my students, because they would call in and they'd say something like, you failed my kid, and I would be crushed by that. I didn't mean to fail. I didn't want to fail your kid. Finally, I was like, I'm not giving you don't get to hurt my feelings. You know, you can say I am crummy professionally, but you can't hurt my feelings. I was giving access to my in-laws, to my parents. They'd give me parenting advice, and I'd be like, I'm the worst. I took them out. And so ultimately, in my little box, I ended up with a person, one or two people that I really valued their wisdom. They were older than me. They were mentors, but they were spiritual. They were people that I trusted. Hey, I'm about to make this big life change. What do you think? And then I had several close friends that I've been ride or die with for a long time. I think I got mine down to 6. I don't remember exactly what it was, and then the first person was my wife. And I actually called them, including my wife, and said, hey, I'm giving you access to me. And I'm a tough Texas male. I know I'm not supposed to talk like this, but you now have permission to hurt me. You have permission to speak into my life. So if you see me doing something stupid, call me out like you always do. If you think I'm being dumb or the clothes I'm wearing are ridiculous, you have permission to say something. I'm going to listen to you. And my wife was a key person to put in there. So that's the backstory there. So then back to Casey, my obvious question is, man, why can't you put her there? Why is that so terrifying?
Well, you know, I had a really stable childhood growing up, and very, normal and secure and loving. And so I didn't have a lot of, as your book talks about, trauma, childhood trauma or anything like that. And, of all the people that have hurt me the most, it's kind of been her. And
yikes.
And so it's just really been a struggle. And
how has she hurt you, Casey?
Well, she's tried leaving twice. She just puts the kids, over me ever since the first kid was born, and she's just not a priority that way. And when we try to have a deep discussion or really open up, it usually turns argumentative, and it's just not a very secure place for that kind of thing.
I'm sorry, man.
It's been pretty tough.
Yeah. I mean, I can't even wrap my head around that, man. That hurts, dude. How long have y'all been married?
17 years.
Whew, man.
Yeah, and that the tried leaving's been twice within the last probably 2 years.
Okay. And I'm hearing that all over the country. There's been a lot of chaos the last few years, and so it's been a mess, of course. Have y'all ever gone to counseling together?
Yeah, we did the first time when it really came to a head about 2 years ago.
Okay.
We went through counseling, and that was very good and very encouraging, and but the counselor was kind of pretty hard on her.
Mm-hmm.
And because the whole time I'm thinking, am I doing everything right? Am I right in my thought process? And the counselor and it's a counselor that she chose, and but yet the counselor was kind of affirmed, trying to do everything right in my marriage and my family and in life. And, she was the one that had a bunch of things to work on. And she didn't really respond very well to that. She said, yeah, all sounds good, but then nothing changed.
Mm-hmm. Is she seeing somebody else?
No, I don't think so.
Okay. Has she before in the marriage?
No, not that I'm aware of.
Okay.
And I've never seen any evidence of that.
I'm just trying to I'm not accusing her. I'm just trying to see all the variables here in a short time frame. But
yeah.
Here's
she just doesn't think very deeply about things,
Yeah, I get that, but that's different. It sounds like she has no interest in helping meet your needs, and that her whole life is, I'm going to do things the way I want them done. And if I can't get them that way, I'm going to storm off by myself. I'm going to take my ball and go home.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, we could have a whole woo-woo conversation about the wounded child and all that, but that's a very childish response. Well, I'm just going to leave then. You know what I mean? And so here's where I'm torn, man. I'm torn in two ways. Number one, you do not put people in that quote unquote, in that mythical box here that you don't trust, that you can't be vulnerable with, you can't open up to. And also, your marriage is really on life support right now. And I know you know that. It sounds like
that's
one of those moments to sit down and have one of those conversations is like, why we are now adults choosing to live this life and it's miserable. Why are we doing this? Can we decide to make this different? And the heartbreaking answer to that question is, unfortunately, I don't want to do that with you. And so what I'll tell you is there's this weird chicken or the egg thing that happens with that box, if you will, where somebody hurts you that you love, and forgiveness is hard, grief is hard, like reconciliation, saying I'm sorry can be hard. All those things are hard, but then you pull that person out of your box. They feel that gap, and it creates just a tiny shim of space, and that space just grows over time. See what I'm saying? And so it just feels like one of those moments, and you've probably heard me say this on the show, where you just got to turn all the lights on, turn all the music off, the dance got to stop for a minute. We just got to say, dude, what are we doing? Because right now we're adults and we're choosing to live a less than life. And I don't understand. Seems like a bizarre choice to be making.
Mm-hmm.
You're choosing to not meet my needs. I'm still trying to meet yours. And I can't imagine this doesn't affect your sex life. It doesn't affect your work life. It doesn't affect just going home and having home be a warm, safe place to drop your shoulders and go, ah. But instead you get off work and you go home and now it's like another job, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's, and she doesn't openly acknowledge that there's a problem. She looks around at our friends and our family and the world and goes, well, our marriage it's fine. There's nothing wrong with it. It's all good. And I'm just like, there's this deep, no, things aren't. I don't think they are.
So if you sat down tonight after dinner and said, hey, I'd like to go back and see a counselor again with the two of us. Because things might be fine, but fine's not good enough for me. I want things to be incredible. And I'm willing to do some work. Are you willing to do some work? What would she say?
I think she would say that things are fine the way they are, and we've already been down this road, or she would say, I'm the bad one, you're the good one. She'd beat herself up and say, well, I'm the one that has all the problems, and
yeah, that's just like nonsensical.
Bring this stuff into the marriage.
Yeah. That's just a throwaway. Oh, it's just all me. You know what I mean? And then you back up and go, no, it's me too. I sometimes leave the toothpaste cap out. That's just a move. You know what I mean? Okay, here's the hard, man, I didn't see this call going in this direction. What is your or what? What I mean by that is, I can hear it in you. You're getting closer and closer to an or what moment. What is your or what moment? Meaning, I need you to do this. Things around here have to change, or what? Are you going to leave?
I don't think my or what is to leave, because I've made a biblical covenant with her in marriage, and I've talked to those other people in my box about it, and the consensus kind of is, it's like, well, marriage is the highest thing, so you do whatever it takes to keep it together and keep it going. But I always wonder at what cost.
Absolutely.
And I really struggle with that, and I want her to be in the box. I want her to be closer. I do love her deeply, but it's just
she's not safe. She's not trustworthy, right?
Yeah.
So here's what you can do right now in this season. If I'm you, I would go find a professional to talk to on your own. In this variable, that's the only person you can be about, because you need some clarity moving forward. I haven't expanded. This is completely John Delony here. Okay, this is just a personal thing. I have an expanded view of infidelity. I think is for people who are in biblical covenant marriages, this idea of unfaithfulness is much deeper than did so-and-so hook up with somebody else. It's much, much deeper than that. Faithfulness and fidelity is, I'm all in. Physically, I'm not going to sleep with somebody else. Emotionally, spirit, like I'm in. And when I'm part of the reason why this unity isn't working here, I am going to, from a point of fidelity and a point of faithfulness to this agreement we made, I'm going to make some changes in my life, even when they're ugly and messy and really, really hard. And so faithfulness to me is a much broader picture than somebody slept with somebody else. Okay? Now, that's not shared by ministers and pastors all over the place. That's fine. What that means is there's millions and millions and millions and millions of couples who haven't stepped out on their marriage, haven't kissed anybody else. And they say, I'm being faithful. Yet they have absolutely no play. They're not doing anything to help love their partner better, to help make this union stronger, to say I'm sorry and do work on themselves that they need to do so that the whole unit can be well. And by the way, these kids are absorbing this stuff. They're just absorbing it, and they're coming to understand, well, I guess this is just what marriage is. I guess this is how moms roll. I guess this is just what dads do. And so this whole idea of faithfulness and fidelity is a much, much bigger thing than who put what where. It is, I'm all in. And right now, Casey, dude, I didn't expect this call to get here, man. I don't blame you. It's not safe to put her in there right now. And the long-term viability of your marriage is on really thin ice. And so what I'll tell you is at some point, something here changes. And when I know something's going to change, I always want to be on the proactive side. If I have a retaining wall at the back of my farm and I see it starting to bend, I don't want to wait till it collapses. I'm going to call somebody out. I'm going to save the money up. I'm going to call somebody out and have them come build it and dig it out. Otherwise, I'm going to have a huge mess on my hands. That wall's getting dealt with one way or the other. I want to deal with it on as far up the front end as I possibly can. Sorry, brother. We'll be thinking about you.